getting over, got a month of cold because the kid the coldest. Ain't changed, I stay the same and maintain it. Safe to say the kid get older. Forever gang, I'm never switching over. Made a lane and niggas can't get over. I can't mess with rappers, they be bogus. Rather get the pack and keep it open. Big dripper stand up in the ocean. Everybody trapping, we get lost. He ain't focused yet, but he ain't got motion. Made a half a ticket, not promotion. Shout out Switch and Sweet and keep me rolling. But if we get the op, we gotta slow. Ride around with Drake, like we OVO. I got some rats and I want some. Still got them pass in the hood, call it give and go. Keep a nigga, man, bitch in a figure four. Let me fuck when I want, I just come and go. Man, these drinking too deep for these skinny clothes. I might put me in him in some picture boat. They look bro, hit this nigga start getting low. I spent time on the rats on the Lambo and didn't even know how to make them motherfuckers go. On my birthday, I just wanna lift the dough. Barely fit, but don't play with me, period. You just follow behind in the years. Anyway, I feel like a tourist. I'm the one from the bottom who sold out my partner, the promise. God, the period. I fuck with shots and I'm gonna bust. You can't put on that drip, he ain't one of us. How you riding the Benz in a Tonka truck? How you got everybody lit piping up? Oh, she bad with no swag, I can pipe her up. They my last and my last, I know I got up. Count the money up fast like I'm typing some. I'm the type to get active and never run. Keep the rulers, my niggas ain't scared of none. Ain't no rules, you got rats, you can get it done. On a light day, I keep me 100 bucks. Again, hit after he call me very fun. But it's Christmas, I brought everybody. Guns and choppers and F's for everyone. Take the roof out the collar up for the sun. I'm gonna see his pop, I 5,000 months. Got the bitch off the collar, she suck it and swallow. I stick it and she feel it in a gut. Nigga don't run from my collar, we second up wallow and guala. I'm trying to get it mega book. See them drip with little nigga, best watch your step. This top shelf, got 40 designer belts. OTF, still like the new BMW. They gon' jump, got clothes in my right or left. And you drink up the car, ain't no key in them. Just put us in they pockets, get out of there. Ain't gon' have a hard time finding what to wear. Treat it like a tire, I keep a spell. On the stuff because I'm worried. Check the tracks, I'm counting more fit. Sky scrollers, movie in a prison. 150 flying, Richard Mello. I'ma put the game into his temple. Look, cause I'm spitting flavor to the temple. Yo, I am not a killer, but I'm telling you, I'm spending rate 5,000 to a ticket. Oh, he ain't up. I fuck with slides and I'm gonna bust. He can't put on that drip, he ain't.
I think I know. I touch that's fine for you. I do that 3-4 times and can I testify for you? I told her like you, that bitch I do it. All that I'm around, you're scared to do. I'm not. As long as you joking now in for me, I ain't got it. I've been scheming, looting, I ain't your body. As long as you dreaming about me, ain't no problem. I don't got nobody just with you right now. But the truth, I look better under you. I can't lose when I'm with you. How can us lose and miss the moment? You just too important. Nobody do body like you do. I can't lose when I'm with you. I can't just lose and miss the moment. You just too important. Nobody do body like you do. You do. In the top tier ride with you, I feel like Scarface. White bitch with the bob, I'll be your main one. Let's take this argument back up to my place. Sex remind you I'm not violent, I'm your day one. We had shit, yeah. It was magic, yeah. Smash and grab shit, yeah. Nasty habits take a hold when you're not here. Ain't a home when you're not here. Hard to grow when you're not here. I'm saying I can't lose when I'm with you. How can I lose and miss the moment? You just too important. Nobody do body like you do. I can't lose when I'm with you. How can I snooze and miss the moment? You just too important. Nobody do body like you do. You do.
Main one fighting. Are you fronting on me and I'm the main one fighting? Are you blaming on me and you the main one lying? Are you threatening to leave and I'm the main one fighting? Just trying to be your everything. Main one fighting. Are you fighting on me and I'm the main one fighting? Are you blaming on me and you the main one lying? Are you threatening to leave and I'm the main one fighting?
I can't lose when I'm with you. How can I lose and miss the moment? You just too important. Nobody do body like you do. I can't lose when I'm with you. How can I snooze and miss the moment? You just too important. Nobody like you do, you do.
Bruh. Oh, shoot, my camera. I gotta flip it. Bro, what's going on YouTube? I'm a little disappointed about what the Bucks did. They kind of let me down. Actually had an appointment today, so I wasn't able to eat until I got some food. The mic is low? Is the mic low or is Smack Sauce trolling? Maybe I just need to scoot up to the mic a little bit. Steve will think I'm a fall for that goofy shit. Steve will not funny at all. You're a clown, buddy. You're a clown, nigga. Mic's a little low. Let me take it up. Should be better. Should be better. Should be better. Is it better? Yo, chat. Up, thumbs up or down. Me. See what I sound like. All right, things should be good now. Yeah, everybody's saying I'm good now. It's up. And it's up, 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 and it's up. Someone said my speaker half volume, and I can't hear you. Let me listen to what I sound like real quick. Okay. All right, yeah, it's good. I'm sorry. It took me a minute. I had to go back and listen to what I was saying, and, streams be lagging. Not lagging, but they be a little late. But so much has happened in the league. We're seeing a lot of trades. We got a lot of topics here. A lot of things to get into. Someone said I look like a strong. Senpai said I look like a strong, independent black woman who doesn't need a man. No cap. I mean, I had to get the bonnet. I'm actually going to be cutting my hair for reasons I can't explain right now. But major changes coming not only to the channel, but to my life soon. So y'all stay tuned for that. Big changes. Big changes. Big one, not the little one. So y'all stay tuned for that. But a lot of things to get into. A lot of topics. Things have been happening across the league. Obviously, as y'all see the title of the stream, Doc Rivers is the head coach of the Milwaukee Bucks. So we're going to get into that. The Miami Heat traded for... I'm not transitioning. Come on now. It's not true. Y'all niggas, all these guesses, getting married, no. Army, no. I'm not going to the Army. All these things are all incorrect. All you niggas are guessing way off. I'm cutting my hair because I really just want to get the waves. But, y'all niggas are all way off. So, nigga said transitioning. Come on now. Respect me. But like I said, y'all will get to that. I'll get to that later, another one of these days, when the time approaches. But prison is crazy. The Heat got Terry Rozier in a trade I want to talk about what's going on with the Atlanta Hawks situation. Trae Young is concussed. DeJounte Murray trying to get that trade value up as much as possible. We're also going to talk about, I have a segment, and I'm going to be reviewing 6 NBA players who are busts. 6 NBA players who are busts. We got a lot of things to get into. And Candace Parker also. We got to talk about the controversy that she's causing, and a lot of people are upset with her. I do think some people they're not blowing it out of proportion, but it's going to be interesting to see how some people react to this, and if they're going to say, oh, you guys are just getting on her because it's a woman, blah, 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 blah. Like I said, it's going to be interesting to see how certain people react to Candace Parker's situation, because she is obviously wrong. Like, obvious. I don't even think the Becky Hammon one was wild, because I think Becky Hammon was right. But Candace Parker, she was, like, obviously wrong in the clip that I saw. But let's get into it. Let's talk about the Milwaukee Bucks. The Bucks this season have had an up and down year, to say the least. A lot of things are going on with the Milwaukee Bucks right now. Let's pull it up here. A lot of things are going on. The Bucks, so far right now, they are the 2nd seed in the Eastern Conference. You would have thought with them, letting go and getting a new coach, that these guys would be mid-pack or bottom of the East, but they are having struggles. And let's get into it right here. As you can see, the Bucks, they are 30-13. They just came off of a win against Detroit that shouldn't have been as close as it was, and they had 2 close wins against Detroit. Like I said, the first one, 122-113, but the last one, they gave up 135 points to the Pistons, and there was no Cade Cunningham. They let Alec Burks drop 33 points. They let Mike Muscala drop 13 points. Even Asar, I love Asar, but there's no reason why Asar Thompson should be dropping 22. They let the bench combine for, let me calculate it, 55 right there, 55, 9 plus 13. They let the bench of the Pistons drop 85 points. 85 points. That is unacceptable for a team that is trying to win an NBA championship. To let a team that is 36? 4-36? What are they? Yeah, 38. A 4-38 team dropping 135 points is unacceptable. And as we go back to the Bucks, they're 2nd in the East. They are, give me a second. I gotta fix something. Let me get this shit fixed real quick. 1 second, y'all. There we go. But yeah, they are 2nd in the Eastern Conference. Why is this shit not flipped? Like, come on, man. As I said, they're 2nd in the East. They have a 30-13 record. But despite how great they've been offensively, because they are a top 3 offensive team in the league. Top 3 offensive team in the league. They're 2nd in points per game. They're 2nd in offensive rating. But unfortunately, defensively, they're in the bottom 10 in the NBA. 25th in opponents' points per game. 21st in defensive rating. They've been pathetic. Just flat out pathetic defensively. And there really is no excuse for this. There's no excuse whatsoever for a team that has Giannis, Middleton, mediocre. But you got Giannis and Brook Lopez at the rim. And granted, the point of attack has gone soft. I completely understand that. Losing Drew Holiday, they got Malik Beasley and Damian Lillard to replace that. It's rough. It's rough in Milwaukee when it comes to their point of attack and their wing depth. Jay Crowder's been out for like most of the season. And look, I'm not saying Jay Crowder is a game changer. He's not. But Jay Crowder's been out. That was a blow to their wing depth. They have to rely on guys like Andre Jackson. who I like. He has some potential. I see some things in him, flashes here and there, but Marjan, he hasn't really developed the way I think a lot of Bucks fans wanted him to. The team, quite frankly, despite their record, they're very flawed. And if you're the Milwaukee Bucks, you gave up what you gave up for Dame. Giannis has already made it clear he has no problem taking matters in his own hands and moving on if he has to. Granted, he put pen to paper, but don't think Giannis won't demand a trade if he has to. Don't think that. Nothing is secure when it comes to stars in the league, especially a star that has made it clear that he has no problem leaving. Like, he has publicized that. It'd be one thing if he told them internally, right? And then they got Dame and they're like, oh, he didn't make it public. He hasn't done something that like Anthony Davis did or James Harden did. But no, he made it public. He made it public. That interview, if y'all remember, he literally said, if I feel like I can't compete for that Larry O'Brien trophy, that championship trophy, I will leave. So he's made that clear. So if you're the Bucks and you see what's happening right now, letting go of Adrian Griffin, I understand it. I do. Now, I do think he should have been given a season. He should have been given a season to finish it out. I don't really like how this went down. And y'all know I fuck with Giannis. Y'all know I'm a Giannis fan through and through. Through and through. But let me show y'all why I'm not really happy that they did it the way that they did it. Here it is right here. So here's a report that was here. It says Giannis reportedly lost faith in Adrian Griffin, per Chris Mannix. The reason why I'm a little disappointed here, not just because that Giannis lost faith and it looks like his word was probably like a big factor into why they let him go, but I'm a little disappointed because if you guys don't know, I even tweeted this, right? I said I'm not really happy at how this went down. But Giannis himself, what the hell, man? Someone posted it here. Giannis was determined to see that the Bucks hire Adrian Griffin over Nick Nurse. My issue is, if you're going to move off of Coach Bud, fine, do that. But don't move off Coach Bud to then hire a first-year head coach and not even give him a whole season. Is it going to be rocky? Of course. But guess what? You signed off on it. You passed up on Nick Nurse for this guy who was in his tree in Toronto. It's not cool, honestly. It's not cool that this went down the way it did. I don't like that. I don't like it. And I think it's very clear that a lot of people, if this was LeBron, he'd be called the coach killer. They'd be like, oh, LeBron has too much of a hand over the organization. Why is this happening? He always blames his coaches, right? Like, we all know the talking points people use. But now that it's Giannis, I don't see that same shit being said. And I said it. After 43 games and being the second seed, their season could have been a whole lot worse. Mind you, we just saw like a week or two ago, they just blew out the Celtics. They stomped them. I don't know. I mean, I get, like, it's been rough. The defense has been struggling. But I don't like this. A mid-season firing, sure, you have a situation like the Cavs when they won the championship, but usually this is not the norm. You don't just win like that. When your team is in that much disarray, you don't win like that. Now, I will say, it was reported that Doc Rivers was a consultant. He was somebody that was near and dear to the organization beforehand, right? He was consulting AG, all that stuff. So I can kind of get on board with, it's not like they're just bringing somebody that had no connection to the organization, somebody that has nothing to do with the team. He was there. He wasn't there like internally completely. Like, he's not there the way AG is there as a coach, but he's there consulting. He may know more than the average replacement that you're going to bring in. Right. But I do think if Kenny Atkinson was available, I would have loved Kenny Atkinson to be the guy. So that's that. I mean, now I will say AG, he wasn't doing the best job. Certain rotations I didn't like. Even offensively, it seemed like Giannis wasn't really being maximized as a screener roller. And I get it, he's not the best screener. But sometimes you got to keep calling certain plays and enforce that, hey, we got to do better at this. And it didn't seem like they did that. Giannis was still playing a lot of the same ball he used to. Granted, he was getting a lot of better looks, a lot of 4-on-3 scenarios. But I would have liked to see more emphasis on using those sets. And also defensively, the personnel, people are going to kill him for a lot of the defense. And like Brook Lopez only being able to play drop, some of the rotations that were not favorable defensively. But at the end of the day, like outside of Giannis and Brook, what other great defenders do they have? You got to go out there with point of attack. They have backcourts with Dame and Malik fucking Beasley. Let's be serious. The defense was doomed to be pretty mediocre at best. From the jump. And I thought they could overcome it. I thought Giannis was going to take more of a step forward defensively. I do think he's been good defensively this year, but he hasn't been 2020, 2019, or even 21 Giannis so far this regular season. So a lot of this goes on the personnel, but AG didn't do the best job. And I will say this. Doc Rivers is an upgrade. Say what you want. He is an upgrade. He's going to bring in a lot more consistency, structure, an actual plan. He's more experienced. He's going to bring in legitimacy towards sets they run offensively, defensive game plans. The only problem is come postseason time, we know when it comes to adjustments, Doc Rivers is not capable of that unless he has Tom Thibodeau, Kevin Garnett, Ray Allen, and Paul Pierce, along with Rondo. I'll throw him in there. I'll throw him a bone. So, yeah. I do think AG, he wasn't perfect, but, hey, sometimes, things don't work out the way it do. And I'll say this also, no disrespect, but his career is probably over. Fired mid-season, especially with a contender, and it comes out that the players lost faith in you and primarily the star player, the face of the franchise, it's not a good look, man. It's not a good look. And I hate to see a brother go down like that. I really, really hate seeing it. I hate seeing it. Like I said, I hate seeing that. But hey, sometimes things just go down the way they go down. And it is what it is. But I see we almost got 100 people in here. There's no reason why we should have over 90 people in here with 21 likes. That's unacceptable. Get those likes up. I told y'all, if we hit 100 likes in this stream, I tell y'all all the time, if we hit 100 likes in this stream, you guys will get a Q&A out of me at the end. You'll get a Q&A out of me. So y'all go ahead and show some love. Show some motherfucking love. But let's transition into... Actually, before I do that, there was a clip. Let's stay on the topic of. What's his name? I forgot his name. What's the name? I'm tweaking. Of Doc Rivers. There was a clip I seen on Gilbert Arenas' pod, and let me show y'all something, bro. I was in tears. Please let this be here. Where is it? Brennan. Oh, I spelled his name wrong. Where is it? Man, it may not be here. Either way, they was just clowning Glenn. They were calling him Glenn. That shit was hilarious. I can't even lie. I don't know why they was doing that. But they was calling this nigga Glenn. They were calling him Glenn. And I was in tears. Either way, let's move on. The Miami Heat, they made a big trade. They made a big splash in the trade market. And the trade was for Terry Rozier. Let me pull it up on the screen here so you guys can see. And it's wild because as soon as it happened, I was like, damn. I should not be this scared about Terry Rozier going to the Miami Heat. But here we go. Scary Terry. And for those who don't know, Terry Rozier has actually been having a really, really solid season. Like a very solid year. Let me pull it up. Trying to pull up the details so we can see the full thing. Here it is right here. Big Booty Lowry is now officially gone. So the Miami Heat received Terry Rozier. The Hornets receive Kyle Lowry. They receive a Miami pick that's protected in 2027, and the Heat receive Terry Rozier. For the Hornets side of it, you move off Terry, you get a pick. It's protected, but more than likely, it's still going to go to y'all. So you get a first-round pick, and Kyle Lowry, who I guess you could buy out. I don't know what his contract is. Who cares? He's washed. I think this is obviously an upgrade. Rozier is a great upgrade over Kyle Lowry. Let me pull up. Excuse me, I had to burp there, but let me pull up Terry Rozier's numbers because I don't think enough people understand just how good he's been for the Hornets. And granted, the Hornets stink. He's getting a lot of touches there. He's not going to be putting up the same exact numbers, but he's going to help that Heat half-court offense tremendously. Here it is right here. Terry Rozier averaging 23 points a game, 6 to 7 assists, 4 rebounds, a steal, 46% shooting from the field, 35% from three, about 36% actually. And he's doing it on a high volume, 8 attempts a game, and 84 to 85% at the free throw line. That's a true shooting percentage, 57%. He's been really good for the Hornets this year. And I think a lot of people are kind of sleeping on it. This is a great pickup. I think this is like an A+ trade for the Miami Heat. But I do want to know, not A+, let me say A, right? Because at the end of the day, let me see what his contract is first. Okay, so his contract is manageable. And the reason I really like this trade is because, of course, if Terry Rozier performs, I think there's a chance, and I've said this before, I do believe Donovan Mitchell will be a Miami Heat next year. And I mean like next season. It's not going to happen this trade deadline because you traded for Terry Rozier. But I believe next season, Donovan Mitchell, whether it's before next season's trade deadline, off season, whatever, in the 2024 to 25 NBA season, Donovan Mitchell will be a Miami Heat by the end of that season. I do believe he will be moved from Cleveland because nobody wants to be there waiting for Evan Mobley to fucking develop. Offensively speaking, of course. You got a shitty backcourt defensively. When Miami's right there in need of a guard to uplift their half-court offense, and now they could move Terry Rozier, package probably Caleb Martin, maybe Hami. Hami would probably have to go. And you get some picks, and you move on. And you get yourself D. Mitch, and you actually are a legitimate threat to not only come out the East, because they already are, but win a championship. I know that I'm spending time talking about this hypothetical, but I do believe Terry Rozier is the first piece that they can get. Like a legitimate 20-point-per-game scorer. He has value, and he's grown as a playmaker, a passer, defensively still not very good, but he's still a solid player. That's one of the better players at his position, one of the better scorers, I should say, at his position. So I do think this is a good trade for Miami. I'm going to give them an A. I'm going to give the Hornets like a B. I mean, a protected first, it's whatever. Maybe they could have got something better, but either way, you got a first, and you move on. You got to just keep it moving, really. But I like this trade for Miami. I love it. And I think come postseason time, Terry Rozier, I want to see him against the Celtics. I want to see that Heat Celtics series with Terry Rozier cooking them niggas all the way through. All the way through. Skinning those motherfuckers alive. I'd love to see it. I would love to see it. I will be here. So yeah, great trade for the Miami Heat. I have no problem with them getting Terry Rozier at all. I think it's going to be a huge move for them, especially come postseason time. And they've proven that even, sure, defensively, it's not the best. He's not the best player, but Bam Adebayo and Jimmy Butler have proven that they can make Tyler Hero and Duncan Robinson lineups work. Terry Rozier is a better defender than both of them, especially Duncan Robinson. So I definitely do think that Terry Rozier will be fine on a team like Miami. And sure, you lose Kyle Lowry, who's a better defender, but Lowry's not the defender he used to be. He's decent, but offensively, the trade-off is insane. It's insane. And then on top of that, Kyle Lowry gets hurt a lot. That's another thing about him that's an issue. So I love this pickup for Miami. I think he's going to be good for them. And I'm a little scared, as a guy that fucks with the Bucks. I fuck with Giannis. That's another nigga that might be dicking them down come playoff time. Pause.
Oh man, not again.
I said pause. So. But yeah, I like the pickup. I like the move. I definitely do. I see we almost at 50 likes. We're almost at 50 likes. Chat. We got almost 90 people in here. If we almost at 50 likes, I need y'all niggas to run them likes up a little more. Run them up a little more. We got to be better. No reason why we can't get to 100 in this stream. We had 84 people watching. No reason why we can't get to 100 people or 100 likes in this stream. Someone said Lowry to the Suns, Lowry to the Bucks. I mean, who cares? He's not moving the needle anywhere he goes. He'd be a nice pickup, sure. Nice little 15, 20-minute guy at times, right? But he's not moving the needle. He's not moving the needle anywhere. Someone said DeRozan to the Lakers. Did that just happen? Or y'all niggas just chatting? Man, the way y'all niggas had me go to Twitter immediately, crazy. Y'all niggas almost had me. Y'all almost had me. But let's talk about the Atlanta Hawks. The Atlanta Hawks have been in a lot of news because of DeJounte Murray. And, here's the first piece of news that I think is interesting. Oh, wrong one. The first piece of news that I think is interesting. So here's the Hawks asking price for DeJounte Murray. And it is a first-round pick, 2 first-round picks, and a starting level player. And I think this obviously fits with what the Lakers want because, there's been reports of them moving D'Angelo Russell or Austin Reeves or maybe both. I think D'Angelo Russell is a starting level player. Austin Reeves is a starting level player. That plus 2 firsts for DeJounte. I don't know, right? Like 2 firsts just for DeJounte. In this league where Terry Rozier just went for a first-round pick, I do think you can get that. If you obviously protect it. You can get that. I mean, Terry Rozier just went for a first. Kyle Kuzma is going to go for a first, maybe 2, right? Maybe 2. Legitimately, he may go for 2 first. Caruso is going to go for multiple firsts. And you could argue about the impact those players may have on a team as compared to DeJounte. That's fine. But DeJounte is still a good player. He's just not a portable player to those players' degrees, and because of his play style, he has to be used a certain way that isn't impactful towards winning. To really get the best out of DeJounte and his impact, he really has to be a number 1 option. And when he's the number 1 option, that means your offense is mediocre to bad. That's what it means. DeJounte just isn't as impactful as his numbers make him seem. And, I think he's been balling recently because Trae Young has been out. Let me pull up his numbers. And that's how we're in a league now where stats are just so misleading. They're so insanely misleading. But let's pull up his numbers. Over the last 12 games, DeJounte has been cooking. He has been cooking. He's averaging 24 to 25 points a game, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, 51% from the field, 42% from 3, 84% at the free throw line. Right? And if you look at these numbers, these are very misleading stats because he simply isn't that impactful. In these 12 games, they are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're 500. They're 500. Now, granted, is it all on him? No. But the fact of the matter remains, whether you're looking at wins, on, off, whatever metric you want to use, DeJounte is just not that impactful of a player. He's not. And it's because he's not really that portable. We're talking about a guy who has improved as a shooter, but he has like a really weird form, right? He's not somebody that's really a spacer. Teams don't guard him out there like that. But, you know, I'll give him even the spacer label because he's shooting 39% this year. I mean, let me pull it up. He's shooting 39% this year on 6 attempts a game. Like, he's a good volume, high percentage shooter. Now, granted, this is abnormal, right? Because last year, 34%. The year before that, 32%. Then 31, 37 on 2 attempts. Like, he's not a high volume shooter and doing it at a great clip. But this year is abnormal, right? Now, I do want teams to understand this is one season. It's 43 games. That's not who DeJounte Murray has been throughout his career. And even if you want to say that's how he's going to be going forward, you would have to accept the defensive decline. Because I don't think people really understand that DeJounte is not the defender that he used to be. He's not at all. And the Hawks have realized that because the Hawks thought they were getting a legitimate two-way player. And I think DeJounte is the perfect example of a guy that is not, he's not someone that, he lives off reputation. He lives off reputation, and a lot of people, I think, are kind of realizing it now. But here it is right here. Let's see some of this tape. Like, he's not the defender some people think he is. That's not even. There he is right here. That's not even. I'm not going to kill him too much for that. I mean, could have been better to rush towards the closeout. But here it is. Here it is right there. Rushed. Like, that is horrendous defense, right? He tries to get that steal, doesn't get it, right? And now he's put them in a 5-on-4 situation. And he's got to get back in the play. He can't rotate over fast enough to get to Tobias, and he gets to the rim and gets the easy bucket. And that's another thing with DeJounte. DeJounte's actually like pretty slim, and he's not going to be great against like wings, real physical guards. You know, like, and he struggled at that. Even back then, he struggled at that. Here he is right here. Of course, he misses the 3. They get the ball. Fast break. He could have done better, but I'm not going to kill him too much. That is a fast break bucket. You know, it is what it is there. Here's DeJounte. Turns his back to Mikal Bridges. Turns his back. That's just slacking. There's no need to even do that. Cam Johnson is not a threat to you here. You turn your back and it's lazy, and Mikal gets enough space to pull up and make it. Tough shot. And he fouled him. Wow. And he fouled him. And you fouled him. Like, this is what I'm talking about. When people sit there and say DeJounte is this two-way monster. Here he is falling asleep on Devin Vassell. Like, Devin Vassell gets off the screen at one point. He turns his back. Like, this is such a lazy defense. Like, what are you doing here? What are you doing here? That is horrendous defense. Steve-O, I'll send you the link after this stream. And Vassell gets an open 3, and obviously it's a bucket. It's a bucket. Let's watch a couple more clips. DeJounte on ball. I mean, I won't lie. That is a tough bucket on Hero, for Hero's sake. But, you know, he did kind of fall asleep and focus too much. Like, that's something you're seeing in these clips. He's ball watching a lot. Ball watching a lot. And that was end of the shot clock heave, whatever. But the ball watching it's unacceptable. Look at Haslam. And then you see here, let's see this play. That's not great defense. That's not great. But to be fair, like, he got past Trae Young. He was going to get that bucket if DeJounte doesn't come up. I mean, you know, it is what it is. That I'm not going to kill him too much for that. Here we got another play. DeJounte is just taken off the map with that screen. That's nothing. He's not great at fighting over screens. And honestly, the thing I have I'm not even really mad at DeJounte for the slippage in defense is because, one, he has more of an offensive load than he had back in the day. It's natural for a lot of players, especially when, you know, you're coming off of an injury, because people forget he tore his ACL like the year after he made that all-defensive team. He had a torn ACL. With injuries, age, and more of an offensive load, I'm not expecting you to be the same defender you was in your all-defensive team days. I feel like a lot of people don't understand that. It's natural for him to be in the position that he's in as a defensive player. And I got to see people go on this app and claim that DeJounte is still a two-way player. He's not a two-way player. Someone said, bro, you stay on the hater type BS. Murray is a demon. A demon at what? Appreciate the super chat, though, Big. I'm not even going to say that. But appreciate the super chat from you.
Oh, man, not again.
Appreciate that. I'm not going to say your name for obvious reasons. That's a crazy name, and I'd be pretty gay if I were to say that shit confidently. But let me pull it up, because I don't think enough people understand just how bad DeJounte is as a defender compared to how he used to be. Like, there are literal people saying DeJounte is a two-way player. If you think DeJounte is a two-way player, you need to, first of all, revise how you look at two-way, right? And secondly, you also need to consider that he's not the same that he used to be. He's not the same. Let me pull up the clip. I can't even find it, but either way, man, DeJounte, he's one of the most overrated players in the league, and I'm shocked. I'm shocked that people are still, you know, throwing that out there, because he's not. And I think that's affected the Hawks, because the Hawks, how they looked at this whole Trae Young era was, we're going to get DeJounte and pair him with Trae Young. He's going to be like the complementary piece to like the issues backcourt defensively. He's going to guard the better guards, and we're going to put Trae on the not like the defensive slanted players, you know, so he can just play some team defense and rotate. And Trae's been a little better defensively, but he's still a liability. And DeJounte cannot make up for that, especially at this stage in his career. Not being the defender he used to be with the injury he had has limited him, you know, laterally in so many different ways. And just his IQ in general, it's fallen off. Like, we just saw the clips. If you watch the games, you see it. He ball watches consistently. Like, his rotations aren't great because of it. He gets in passing lanes for no reason. Sometimes he anticipates steals way too much. The Russell Westbrook effect. I don't see how you can think that if you're the Hawks, giving up 4 first-round picks. Like, it just goes to show they thought off name value, and the fact that he had that little Mickey Mouse All-Star appearance while being just really a player who put up stats on a bad team. The Spurs were not a good team that year. They were a very bad team. And DeJounte ate up off the fact that they didn't have real ball handlers on that team that could score for real. They had no real great offensive options, I should say, right? He was the only form of somewhat consistent offense. I don't see how anybody, especially the Hawks, thought he was worth 4 first-round picks. I think Gallinari also went in that deal. The Spurs fleeced them. They fleeced them. They fleeced the fuck out of them. Plain and simple. Plain and fucking simple. And if you're the Atlanta Hawks, I'll say this. They failed Trae Young. Because that leads into something I want to talk about. Trae Young is having an insane season. Now, right now, he is out with a concussion, right? But Trae Young is having an insanely great season. Let me pull it up here. By the way, Steve-O, the website's the High Low. I don't know if you're still here. I'll send it to you anyway, just in case. But it's the High Low. But Trae Young is having an insanely great season, right? Right now, I said like I said earlier, he's out with a concussion. But here's the numbers. And it's not crazy. We all know what Trae Young's capable of. 27 points a game, 11 assists, a steal and a half, 3 rebounds, 42, 36, 86 shooting splits. 86 shooting splits. That's a true shooting percentage of 58%. He is a top 5 offensive player in the league. One of the best passers really ever. Nice handle, good shot creator, really good three-point shooter, high volume, gets to the free throw line. Of course, there are flaws offensively. He's not a great finisher at the rim, right? Like, he's pretty inefficient there. That's one of his weaknesses as a scorer. And he can be, he can shoot you out of games at times. It can be a weakness. We understand. We understand Trae Young is not perfect. He's not even blameless in a lot of the issues that the Hawks have. Off-ball Trae does not exist. But I do think expecting him to be this off-ball player when he doesn't even have the instincts for it, really, it's kind of wild. Not everybody can do what Steph Curry does. You have to have not only the shot, but you have to have the instincts. He doesn't have those instincts. He doesn't. He doesn't have those instincts. Someone said Embiid over Trae Young offensively. I mean, this season, maybe I guess you can make that argument, but I think Trae is still the better offensive player. Trae Young is the kind of player that you can give role players to, and he can give you a top 10 offense. Just like that. Sometimes top 5, right? If you go to some of these years, right? Let's go to like 21. They were a top 10 offense. And look at that roster. Kevin Huerter, Clint Capella, Bogdanovich, DeAndre Hunter, John Collins, fucking Cam Reddish, who in the playoffs played better, Gallinari. For all intents and purposes, offensively, these are role players. I don't know what the hell that was. But these are role players. They are not crazy. And they were a top 10 offense in the league. That's what Trae Young does for you. 2022, they run it back. Same roster for the most part. What are they? Top 5 offense, 6th in points per game, 2nd in offensive rating. And it's wild to me because I don't think people even remember that after they made the conference finals, the issue with the Hawks is that they acted like they were too good, right? Remember Trae Young had that quote, and I'll pull it up right here. I kid you not. This is what Trae Young said in the next year. And like I said, Trae has accountability he has to take for this because he set the tone for that organization. This was after the 2021 season. Trae Young said the regular season is a lot more boring than the playoffs. And if you look at the quote, here it is right here of Trae Young saying, Trae Young, on the difficulty of sacrificing early in the season, I think guys are learning that we are no longer the hunters. It's the regular season. I'm not going to lie. It's a lot more boring than the playoffs. You got to find that motivation to play like the playoffs. Find motivation? Find motivation? Buddy, y'all were happy to be in the conference finals. That was an overachievement. That was not the norm. It was called an upset in the conference finals, or not conference finals, in the semifinals for a reason. Y'all aren't the hunted. Y'all niggas are the lucky. Y'all are not that good to start saying we need to find ways to motivate ourselves. That's something you hear from like the Chiefs in football, the Patriots, right? They had to find ways to. Michael Jordan saying he had to find ways to motivate himself. I just saw Draymond on the pod, right? When they went 73-9, finding ways to motivate themselves, looking at the fans, them cheering just to be the first team to beat them in so many games or whatever, right? Because they only lost 9 out of 82. Those are not things you hear. And yes, I understand the regular season, it's a long season. I get it. To be motivated every game, it's not easy. But then to say, we're no longer the hunters. Yes, you are, buddy. Y'all are the hunters. You're happy to be there. We got a super chat.
Oh, man, not again.
From Political History. Who is the NBA biggest seed demon in the league? I don't know what to say about that, actually. The biggest seed demon in the NBA. Dwight Howard's not in the league anymore, so I can't use him. Who has a lot of kids in the league? I don't know. That's a tough one. Y'all chat. Y'all answer that for me. Who has the most kids in the league? Who does have the most kids? I actually want to look that up. Who does have the most kids in the NBA right now? It's a player named Calvin Murphy. Oh, this is from 6 years ago. Then again, knowing how Wilt Chamberlain used to fuck, it's probably Wilt Chamberlain. He probably has kids in the league right now we don't know about, right? Like Otto Porter. Someone said it's about to be Giannis. Giannis got a couple kids. Giannis do got a couple kids. I won't lie. LeBron got a lot of kids. LeBron only got like 3, right? I don't think that's not a lot. I don't know. Y'all, I'll leave that to the chat to decide. Ant is up there. Send a video. But yeah. Let me continue. Like I was saying, when it comes to Trae Young and the Hawks acted like they were there. They acted like they made it when they hadn't made it. And it's wild to me that Trae Young said that quote talking about they're the hunters now. You're not the hunters. Y'all not the hunted, right? Y'all are still hunters. Y'all overachieved. Y'all thought y'all made it. Y'all didn't even make any real changes to the roster the year after that. And then your answer was, let's get DeJounte Murray. And now y'all are in the exact same position that you were before. You're a mediocre team that can't defend anybody. And you got a guy that's, in my opinion, a generational offensive talent in Trae Young. You can maybe say he's not a generational player because the defense can offset some of that impact. That's fine. But I do believe Trae Young is a player that can win an MVP one day. And they are wasting his talent. They're wasting his fucking talent. They failed him. And to be fair, Trae Young has his flaws. He has his flaws. It's not easy to build around a specific kind of player like that. But the way to do it is very obvious. Get some defenders. Get a secondary guy that can play off of him, primarily a big, and you move from there. And I do believe that depending on how the Lakers season goes this year, especially with Bronny coming into the league, if they can get their hands on an Anthony Davis, you go ahead and do that. That's somebody I'd be looking at. Hell, I'll even say this. I don't know if it's possible because, you may not want to go here, but depending on how the Sixers season ends this year, a Joel Embiid, I'd be looking at him. But the best way out of this, to be honest, and the more predictable route, because this is Atlanta, this is not a New York where team players are eager to go there and willing to be traded there. It's not a Los Angeles situation where a guy like Anthony Davis, as mediocre as the Pelicans were and as mediocre as the Lakers were even at that time, he was salivating to go there, not only because it's the Lakers, but it's LeBron James there. The more likely scenario, I hate to say it, Hawks fans, is that Trae Young demands a trade. Or that the Hawks just decide to part ways. Because it's Atlanta. They're a small market team that has clout. People know about Atlanta, right? Black Hollywood. But at the end of the day, they're not a team that attracts free agents. When's the last time you heard somebody say, man, I want to go to Atlanta? That's one of my sites. The last big free agent they got was like Dwight Howard. I can't even remember. I can't even tell you when's the last time we had a free agent want to go to the Hawks. Like a big time, legitimate free agent. It's been a long time. A long ass time. So it is what it is there. It is what it is. I think they failed him. And eventually, it's going to be time for them to move on. Eventually, it will be time for them to move on. And I don't really feel bad for them because they had a chance to really get certain players around them, and they didn't take that opportunity. I don't get how you go to the conference finals and you think you've made it to the point that, like, you're not even going to make tweaks to the roster. I don't know. I don't like that. I don't like that. But let's move on because I have some more topics I want to get into. I have a list of players. Let me pull it up here on my phone. We're going to talk about 6 NBA players who I am deeming. Let me restart that so I can get the clip. 6 NBA players who I am deeming officially as busts in the NBA. 6 NBA players who I am deeming are busts in the NBA. Let's start off with number 1, Portland's own DeAndre Ayton. DeAndre Ayton has to be one of the most disappointing first overall picks over the last 10 seasons in the league. This guy shows very little effort. He holds himself back. His motor is one of the worst in the league. And on top of that, there's no excuse for it because we know the potential is there. Here it is right here. This was DeAndre Ayton last night. 5 points, 7 rebounds, and shot 28.6% from the field. I cannot believe I thought this nigga had potential. I can't believe I ever had faith in this bum-ass nigga. This guy is trash. And you look at clips like this. This is unacceptable. Look at this. Nigga's not even trying to set the screens. This is classic Kendrick Perkins low-light tape. This nigga pulled a real-life Kendrick Perkins. And sure, you're right. Physically, this guy is built like fucking David Robinson. But mentally, he has the mind of Anthony fucking Bennett. I just don't understand because the potential is there. This is a guy that last season was an 18 and 20 big. Not 20, 18 and 10 big. You can't even give me 15 a game now? He can't even give me 15 a game. This guy's averaging 12 and 10. He gets to the free throw line 1.4. Let me show you guys so y'all don't think I'm bullshitting here. I'm not bullshitting. These are real numbers here. These are DeAndre Ayton's stats this season. I want to show y'all so y'all know I'm not lying to y'all. 12.5 points per game. 10.3 rebounds. A steal. 1.5 assists. 53% from the field. 76% at the free throw line. But 1.4 attempt a game. He's not even getting to the line once a game. He's not. He's getting there once every 3 games. And that's pathetic. That is fucking pathetic. And it's wild because the whole time that he was in Phoenix, what did we keep hearing? Oh, Chris Paul's holding him back. He didn't give him a chance to really develop. They're too slow. They have to play at Chris Paul's pace. He needs a guard that can get to the rim more and be a better threat at that because when they're running the PNR, everybody knows Chris Paul's going to settle for that midi. Chris Paul's not explosive out that. He needs somebody like that. And I still do think if Scoot was better, it would rub off on him. But unfortunately, nigga, you can't step up to the plate. You can't even be aggressive. Like, I just want you to go out there. This guy is jacked. I don't think people understand, no homo, just how big he is. Let me pull it up. I don't think people understand just how jacked that nigga DeAndre Ayton is. There's no reason why he can't go out there and be one of the strongest and most physical players in the league. There's no reason why. I don't understand why this nigga is so ass. Look at this dude. About to put it on the screen. Look at this guy. This is a jacked ass dude. There's no reason why he can't go out there and be one of the most physically imposing players in the NBA. There's just no reason for it. And we've seen the flashes. We saw what he did in the 21 playoffs. I don't understand. He's a bust. And we forget he was taken in the same draft class ahead of Luka, Trae Young, and Jaren Jackson Jr. It's insane. It's insane. He's lazy, and there's no reason why he shouldn't be one of the best players in the league. There's no reason why. He's lazy. But let's go to the next player, and this one's gonna hurt me. It's gonna hurt me a lot because y'all, if y'all know I'm a Bulls fan, y'all know I hate to say this, but Patrick Williams at number 2. Patrick Williams, let me pull up his numbers. He has not delivered this year. This year was supposed to be a big year for him. He said he wants to get $20 million, right? Or no, I think it was like $200 million. He was expecting a big payday this year. But unfortunately, this nigga has been pretty mediocre. Pretty fucking mediocre. Here's the numbers right here. 10 points a game. 4 rebounds. 2 assists. 45% from the field. 41% from 3. 78% at the free throw line. The thing with Patrick Williams that I will say, if there's anybody on this list who could beat the bust allegations, it's probably him, right? Because if you look at his stats since January, he's gotten less touches and obviously scored less as a result. He's averaging 9 points a game on below 40% shooting. But if you look at what he was doing in December, right, when the Bulls were actually winning, we were getting a lot of W's in December. In December, we were, here it is right here, 14 games. In December, we were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We were 9-5 in December. And Pat will average 14 points a game, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 52% from the field, 50% from 3, 71% at the free throw line. Now, granted, it's not like those are crazy stats, but his offensive development is on and off. He's not getting consistent touches. If you see, he's averaging 10 shots a game. You see, you got games, 11 shots, 14 shots, 13, 10. Like he had, 5 straight games of 10 shots or more. Right? 14, 11. Then you go to this stretch, he's not even getting 8 shots a game. 3, 8, 6, 6, 8, 9. He had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He had 6 straight games, less than 9 shots a game. Meanwhile, that's coming off of a December where he played his best offensive ball, where he had 5 straight games of 10 shots or more. The consistent touches are not there. Now, I will say there's more to it than just touches, right? Because he did get injured. That did happen in his sophomore year where he got hurt. That hurt a lot of his development. By the way, we're at 117 watches right now.
Oh, man, not again.
Appreciate y'all. 120 now. Y'all get them likes up. There is no reason why we should be struggling to get 65 likes when we got 120 people in here. I told y'all, if we get to 100 likes, I will do a Q&A after the stream. If not, then, hey, I'm going to keep it moving and go about my day. I got some Popeyes right here. I've been waiting to warm up in the oven. So let's get to it. But like I was saying, Patrick Williams, when it comes to the scoring aspect, the touches are a big reason. And the time that he was really supposed to develop was a time that he got hurt. That was supposed to be a big year for him, and he got injured. That didn't help. That didn't help anything. So I'm not going to kill him too much as far as that is concerned. But at the end of the day, there's other issues with Pat Will. Pat Will is struggling to give you 4 rebounds a game. This is a guy who's a 6'7" power forward. Granted, a little undersized, but he's got length. He's got size. I want to see you crash the offensive glass more. And I think he does have the ability, but a lot of that, it's not instinct for him. He's got to be better. He's got to be better. There's no excuse for a nigga that's 6'7" to not give me at least 5 rebounds a game. That's unacceptable. And this was the 4th overall pick. Like I said, I do think a lot of this is circumstantial because the potential is there. If you watch Patrick Williams, I'm not even trying to glaze him. He has Kawhi level mannerisms. Like even something as simple as his walk, something as simple as his demeanor, his look. He gives you those Kawhi flashes. But like I said, no reason for the rebounds to be as down as they are. And I think the scoring offensive game, a lot of that is just due to the fact that I hate to say it. He was drafted to a situation where the time he was supposed to develop was 22, and he missed damn near all the whole regular season. I'm seeing he only played 17 games due to the injury. Then he comes back in the playoffs and gets dicked the fuck down by Giannis. And after that, he just settles into a role player role, sitting in the corner, attacking closeouts here and there, or spotting up. That's really it. And I want to see him be better. Some of that's on him, but a lot of that is also due to his situation. But yeah, let's move on. Number 3 on the official bust list, Josh Giddey. I don't care what anyone says. He's a bust. And let's pull it up. Josh Giddey stinks at basketball. I don't care what kind of good stretches he be having here and there. I don't give a shit. Aside from the fact that he fucks high schoolers, this nigga cannot play basketball. He cannot play the game. Sure, I see you asking what order I got. I got some ghost pepper wings. I also got some sweet chili wings, whatever that is. But this nigga's terrible. 12, 6, and 5. That looks solid. Shooting 34% from 3. But my nigga, he's having a down season from last year. Nobody guards him out there. And come playoff time, he's going to ruin the OKC Thunder. Josh Giddey is the weakness on that team. If you go and watch a lot of these games, Josh Giddey doesn't get guarded out the 3-point line. And they'll sit there and put someone who can roam off Josh Giddey, right? Because you give him no attention. He doesn't deserve a lick of attention. The guy's getting open threes and he's shooting below league average. He's been doing that his whole fucking career so far in the league, which limits what his playmaking ability could be. Right? You can be the best passer in the history of basketball. But my nigga, if no one's going to guard you, you can't put pressure on the rim, you have no type of jump shot, you can't get to the free throw line, you're not a threat to score. He's a 0-level scorer. It's damn near the same as what old dude is going through in Detroit. And we'll get to that nigga later on in this list. The nigga is not good. And then on top of that, defensively, he's horrible. He can't guard his shadow. Josh Giddey is a bust. And I think people just forget he was the 6th pick in the 2021 NBA draft. Let me pull it back up. The 6th pick. He was taken before Franz Wagner. He was taken before Trey Murphy, Sengun. Plenty of players better than this nigga. Jalen Johnson. I said Quentin Grimes. These are all players I'd rather have. Cam Thomas. All players I would rather have over that bum-ass nigga. Herb Jones, of course. I mean, when you get to, like, the late guys, of course, you know, it's ironic that they're better. But, like, there's no reason why the 6th overall pick can't be better than a nigga in the 2nd round. He's trash. He's straight up trash. 2 picks before Franz Wagner. If you're OKC, you got to be kicking yourself. Damn. We could have had ourselves Franz Wagner. Hell, I don't even know if he's better. Is he better than Corey Kispert? Honestly. Corey Kispert would have gave the Thunder more value than what Josh Giddey's giving them right now. Look at the tape. I'm going to pull it up here. Let's pull up Josh Giddey's tape. The nigga is fucking garbage. Look at that nigga. Look at this clown, right? You got Jaden Ivey on you, right? He can't even back that nigga down. Josh Giddey's like 6'6", right? Let me look it up. Let me see. Giddey is like 6'6", 6'8". You can't even back down this small ass Jaden Ivey motherfucker. You turn around, you get to the rim. That should be an easy finish. He can't do it. He gets his putback, lame ass nigga. Why'd they put that in there? He didn't deserve that. You got Steph Curry on you, and you smoke the layup. You get the board. He gets it back. Why are they putting these putbacks back in? Either way, the nigga smoked an open layup. You got Steph Curry on you. You couldn't take advantage. Steph Curry, by the way, you let Josh Giddey get a bucket on you. Unacceptable. Unacceptable work. Now, let's get into some real lowlights. This should be a real lowlight here. You got look at him. He can't get to the rim. He can't get to the rim. This nigga is terrible. Right? You got Jalen Brunson on you. He got no moves. He got no moves. Unacceptable. Right? Let's keep going. Like I said, no one guard. You see how they got Gobert on him? They got Gobert on him because it's very easy for him to roam. And if you're the Los Angeles Lakers, when you face a team like OKC come postseason time, why would I not put AD on you? AD can just roam. Hell, we'll live with you taking threes. You can make 6 threes in a row, Josh Giddey. I promise you, no one's going to guard you out there. And that's what Gobert is doing. Sticking to Josh Giddey. And even if he gets past him, easy block. Because you fucking stink. You got no moves, buddy. No moves at all. He got Javon Carter on him. Can't post him up. Turn around. Easy brick. The nigga is not good at the sport. Here's another one. You see how they got Draymond on him? Like, look. Jay Will gets the ball. Jalen Williams, he's not even thinking about passing it to Giddey. But you see how they got Draymond on this nigga. This nigga is making everyone's life harder, right? They leave him open. And of course he bricks it. At the end of the day, the nigga is bad at the sport. Good passer, really good passer, but not good at anything else. 0 level scorer who can't guard his own shadow. But let's move on to the next player who is officially a bust in the league. I already alluded to him earlier. He has the same issues as Josh Giddey. Can you guess? Killian Hayes. Yes, Killian Hayes. You talk about niggas that are 0 level scorers. That's Killian Hayes right there. Killian Hayes is terrible. Like just god awful. This nigga has the same issues as Josh Giddey. And he's worse, of course. He's a worse scorer. As hard as that is to be, he's a worse scorer. Killian Hayes can't score at the rim. He doesn't have a mid-range. He can't make free throws. He's a 0 level scorer. He's a negative level scorer. -5 level scorer. Trash all across the board. The nigga's just not good at the sport. And it's wild because Killian Hayes, I think people forget, just like Giddey to some degree, because I know some people remember, but Killian Hayes, he was the draft right before Giddey. And here it is right here. Killian Hayes was taken with the 7th overall pick. Literally everybody else right after, way better. Hallie, Vassell, Smith, Denny, Obi. Could you imagine if Detroit took Tyrese Halliburton, who I thought should have been a top 10 pick going into that draft, but I digress. Literally, the next 5 picks are all way better. Then you got Cole Anthony, who's better. Beef Stew is better. Josh Green is better. Sadiq Bey. I mean, we're nitpicking here. But Tyrese Maxey. Like, these are way better players. Emmanuel Quickley. There's like 4 or 5 different guards better than this nigga. Let's not even focus on the total players. Look at how many guards. What the hell? Look at how many guards are better than Killian Hayes taken right after, right? Let's count it. Devin Vassell, who's a shooting guard. Devin Vassell, Tyrese Halliburton, Cole Anthony, Tyrese Maxey, Emmanuel Quickley. Man, I thought RJ Hampton was going to be so good, whatever. Hell, even Peyton Pritchard's better than that nigga. This is insane. So many fucking players better than him. Yeah, the rest, whatever. Now, if you count just the players, let's go. Jaden McDaniels, Desmond Bane. Was that Desmond Bane? Right? Damn, I forgot Desmond Bane was in that draft. Damn, last pick of the first round, whatever. But, hell, even Zeke Naji is better than that nigga. I mean, Zeke barely plays. He's averaging 9 minutes a game. You know, I'll leave Zeke Naji out of it. But let's count how many players, right? Sadiq Bey, Josh Green. Hell, even Precious Achua. You know how bad you got to be for Precious Achua to be way better than you? The nigga who's disgracing my homeland of Nigeria? I'm not even going to count Poku. Poku stinks too. So let's not go there. Aaron Naismith. I forgot about Naismith. He's actually playing well for Indiana this year, right? Man, he's having a really solid season for them. But yeah. Look at all these guys better than him. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Sure, this was a deep draft, but there's no reason why you should be a 7th overall pick and 16 niggas drafted after you are significantly better. No reason, no excuse for that. The nigga is just bad at the fucking sport. Plain and simple. Hell, he's not even better than Xavier Tillman, who's not playing the greatest basketball this year. I didn't know his stats were this bad. Wow. But still, he's not even better than Xavier Tillman. 17 players better than him. Hell, Trae Jones, 18 players better than him. 18 players better than this nigga. Hell, even Nick Richards, right? Is he even playing like that this year? Hell, give me Nick Richards over him. Another nigga we can add. Nick Richards better. Jordan Noir is even better than that nigga, right? Noir's not playing crazy minutes, but he's still better than that nigga. He's still better. But let's not even count him. That's 18 niggas. Hell, Isaiah Joe, 19 niggas. KJ Martin, 20 niggas better than him. Significantly. Paul Reed, 21 players drafted after him better. This nigga is terrible. Killian Hayes is not good at the fucking sport. Look at this bum. Jimmy roaming off this nigga. Oh, that's not even. I thought I got the wrong nigga. They got Duncan Robinson on him for a reason. Look at him. Duncan didn't even bother contesting that sorry ass nigga. Let's keep going. Look at him. Wide open for a reason. Well, not wide open. They got a little contest. But he sucks. He sucks at the fucking sport. I don't know why they're showing us Fox and Malik Monk. As you can see right here, I don't even know what the fuck happened here. It's probably a travel or something. He gets the ball. They go under his screen because who the fuck cares? I don't even know why he fought over that. Look at this sorry nigga. No gravity whatsoever to his game. Because he can't fucking shoot the midi. If we're really being honest, that's a mid-range jumper. That should be a mid-range jumper. But, you know, he has no gravity and it's a turnover. They pass it to him. Smoke. Oh my God! Oh my God! Holy shit! Nigga airballed an open floater. They let this nigga get to the fucking restricted area and everything. Well, non-restricted area. Didn't even contest it. And look at his team, right? They tried to stand up. They was like, okay, good bucket, Killian, let's go. This nigga is terrible. This nigga is fucking garbage. Wide open. Foot on the line. He didn't even. This nigga's so trash. He didn't even, like, if he just stopped right here and took the three, that would have been a three. But not, he put his fucking leg out. He can't even release behind the line correctly. Just fucking garbage. What does he even do? I mean, he's a good passer. I'll give him that. He actually is a good passer. And it's so wild because guys like Killian Hayes, good pass from Beef Stew, wide open for a reason, nothing. And it's so wild because, and it applies to Josh Giddey, who I just talked about on this list. He's a bust. Guys like Killian Hayes and Josh Giddey, if these guys were just somewhat decent scorers, somewhat decent, I promise you, they'd be so much better of players. They'd actually be really solid players. Really solid players. The nigga is terrible. What does he do? He's not good at the fucking sport. Look at his numbers right here. 7 points a game, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 rebounds, 41% from the field, 28% from 3, 68% at the free throw line, and -0 level score. 47% true shooting. The nigga's terrible. I promise you I could beat him one-on-one. I promise you. The only reason he's in the league is because he's cute. It's the only reason Killian Hayes is in the league. It's because he's a cute player. I ain't gonna lie. He's a good-looking guy. No homo. The only reason he's still in the league. You can't convince me otherwise. Speaking of niggas who shouldn't be in the league, James Wiseman is number 5. Another nigga on the Detroit team. I just feel bad for Cade. They got all these first-round pick niggas that suck. James Wiseman, another sorry-ass nigga. Here it is right here. Here are his numbers. Where is he? Where's that bump? You know, people do all this talking about how the Warriors system is not great for young guys, and I do agree with that to some degree. To some degree, that is true. But a nigga like James Wiseman is just terrible. He's terrible. You see the numbers right here. 6 points a game, 4 rebounds, and less than an assist, more turnovers than assists. He's averaging 2 fouls in 15 minutes a game, which is insane, right? That per 36 got to be 5 fouls a game. He's got to be fouling out per 36. On 67%, who cares? That nigga's terrible. That nigga is bad. And, you know, his offense is one thing, but it's like he's afraid of contact, right? He's a lazy screener. He slips way too early. He's afraid of physicality. Laterally, he sucks. And some of that is due to the injury that he suffered, but if he was not good beforehand. We saw with the Warriors, like, the nigga couldn't do anything. He couldn't be a lob threat. He couldn't set screens properly. He can't pass. He can't score. He can't shoot. The nigga is a bad basketball player. Plain and simple. And I'm not even going to waste time talking about that sorry bum-ass nigga. Because there's another bum I want to get to that so many people still cape for. Last player on the list. Coming in at number 6, the final spot. Cam Reddish. Cam Reddish. And honestly, in a lot of years, I don't even think people would care too much about a nigga like Cam Reddish, where he was taken. He was the 10th pick. 10th pick in the draft. He wasn't even a top 5 pick. But considering the hype this nigga has had since his Ball His Life tape in high school, and the fact that some niggas are still carrying on the idea that he just hasn't gotten an opportunity, it's crazy to me. He's a non-spacer. The guy is shooting 33.7% on 2.7 attempts. And on top of that, he can't pass, he can't score, and defensively, he's decent on ball, But he's trash at everything else. He's trash at everything else. He ball watches. He can't fight over screens. Gets blown up on those. Dick down all the way. The nigga is not good. And it's wild that fucking Anthony Edwards clip is saving this nigga's career to this fucking day. To this fucking day. To this day. To this day. The nigga is not good. And it's wild how so many niggas say he didn't get opportunity. And I'll admit this. I think one thing Cam Reddish could have used is a G League. Cam Reddish could have easily used a G League call-up, or I guess demotion to some degree, right? Because it is a demotion. That's something he definitely could have used. But that nigga was terrible. Defensively, he was actually really good for the Hawks. Then they traded him to New York. He didn't get crazy minutes. But then the next year, he got more minutes. He got an opportunity, and he was bad. He wasn't good. And now we're seeing him, in other spots like in Portland. He got minutes in Portland. Trash. You can't just tell me the damage was done in all these spots. We're talking about these are like 2-year windows in between his Atlanta Hawks time. The nigga's just not good at the fucking sport. He's not good. That Anthony Edwards Cam Reddish clip, it's saving his fucking career. For those who haven't seen it, let me show you. A lot of people apparently someone said they haven't seen it. Here it is right here.
We ain't gonna talk about that though.
Your freshman.
Cam Reddish. I told you everybody.
Be honest, man. Could be when you're freshman.
Cam Reddish. I told you everybody gonna say. Everybody
Let me rewind so y'all can.
Real quick. Hey, nah. We was talking about college players. Who the hardest person you had to guard?
Be honest, man. Could be when you're freshman.
Cam Reddish. I told you everybody gonna say. Everybody
when you play against Cam.
Everybody gonna say Cam Reddish.
DC. We ain't gonna talk about that though.
So Cam Reddish, that clip is literally saving this nigga's entire career. His entire career. And when you fail with the Lakers and LeBron, you're done. The nigga's terrible. He's about to get DMPs for the rest of the year once the trade deadline's over. I can guarantee that. Guarantee that. But yeah, the nigga's not good, man. He's not good at the sport. And I don't know why niggas still cape for him and say it's because of lack of opportunity. He really wasn't even that good in college. But he had raw potential. And I understood why he got drafted. He's got length, size. The talent was there. A lot of hype in high school. If Harry Giles can get drafted, I think in the first round with all the injuries and things he went through, Darius Garland, same thing. Even though he showed a lot more potential, even in the couple games he played at Vanderbilt. There's no shock that Cam Reddish went in the top 10. Like, I have no problem with him being drafted as high, but that nigga is not good. He's a bust. Plain and simple. I see people saying Jalen Green didn't make the list. Jalen Green, if I make another one of these lists next year or after this season, he'll be on here. Don't worry. That Jordan Clarkson 2.0 wannabe, he'll be here one day. He'll be on the bust list soon. But I'm not going to put him here too soon. I thought about him. Don't worry. I thought about it. But I'm not going to call him a bust yet. He has time. There's still, I hate to say this because he's not reaching it, but there's still something there. There's something there. There's something there that he can develop. I'm not going to call him a bust just yet, though. But he'll be on these lists soon. Don't worry. Believe that. Believe that for sure. But there's one more thing I want to talk about before I wrap up this stream. And that is the comments that Candace Parker made. And it's so wild, right? Like, but let me pull it up first so you guys can see it. Here it is right here.
We've seen Jalen Brunson in the playoffs with the Mavs, and he was number 2, number 3, came in, played minutes, supplemented Luka handling the ball. But as a number 1 option last year in the playoffs, great first round, second round, not so much. So I'm in agreement with her. I do think that also we're talking about offensively, but defensively as well. If we look at what the Warriors had to do with Steph Curry in their runs, defensively, they had to have other top defenders around them.
Now, there's a lot of what she said in that clip that I agree with. The defense stuff, I completely agree. The defense stuff, I completely agree that you got to get guys to compensate for the fact that your best player is 6'1", and he's going to be on the court a lot. I completely agree with that. She's right, you know. And as far as him being too small to be the best player, that's not a thing that's been said only by Becky Hammon and Candace Parker. That's something that's been said throughout history. And there's only a couple anomalies. But my issue with Candace Parker is she lied. She blatantly lied and said second round, not so much. He arguably had a better second round performance than he did in the first round. So that is a lie. She blatantly lied. And let me pull it up here because, like, it's so wild how in basketball, that is the one sport where they have media members that will literally go on TV, be wrong, factually wrong, and then you got these shows where nobody even checks them. Nobody sits there and says, you're wrong. Like, this is factually incorrect. A lot of times they don't do that. They just keep going with the show. And it's so wild how so many of them, football is not like that. Here's what Jalen Brunson did against the fucking Cavs. In the 5-game series, 24, 5, and 4. 2 steals, 44, 29% from 3, 95% from the free throw line. If anything, what he did in the next round against Miami was even better. 31 points a game, 6 assists, 5 rebounds, 50% from the field, 35% from 3, 89% at the free throw line. 25-point game, 30-point game, 20-point game, 32-point game, 38-point game, 41-point game in the closeout game. And those games were all close, except for one, where they got blown out, which he didn't play well, I'll admit that. But all these other games, lost by 7, won by 6, lost by 8, won by 9, lost by 4. These were close games that could have gone either way. If it wasn't for fucking Julius Randle, they would have won that series, or at least could have. Right? And I know Jimmy got hurt also. That played a role. But my point is, I don't get why NBA media is like the one media where people can just blatantly be wrong and like nothing happens. Like they don't have to print out no type of retraction. They don't have to apologize, nothing. But here is her tweets. She clarified it. She said, listen, y'all, I'm a Bears fan. I get it, Knicks, right? Because, you know, she's from Chicago. I get it, Knicks. Everything someone says, you take it personally. My comments yesterday have nothing to do with what I think about Brunson as a player. I think he's an effing monster. I love Villanova guards and Jay Wright having a hell of a season, all-star, right? Now, I think her trying to pin it on people just being emotional when you literally blatantly lied. You blatantly said something that was factually incorrect. That's all people are saying. And it's crazy how people are going to, I promise you, they're going to make this a female thing. She has some more tweets also. Another one, it's the same questions people had about free throws. Can you win when your best player, Giannis, can't hit free throws? It happened, and people had to eat their words on his 50-point triple-double. All I'm saying is I hope Brunson makes me eat my words. Sincerely, Bears fan, a sympathizing Bears fan. Now, I'm going to say this. Giannis, that was not the criticism, but, you know, that's semantics. We won't even get into that because I get her overall point. At the end of the day, though, and I tweeted this ain't it. You were flat out wrong about how good Jalen Brunson was against Miami, and it's okay to admit that. People aren't slandering you because of the, like, him being too small, you don't think he could be the best player. If you agree with that point, that's fine. But you said we saw how good he was against the Cavs. Second round, not so much. That's your words. Those are your words. You were wrong. And if you want to say, oh, I was just talking about the fact that they lost, they didn't lose because of his performance. They lost because they had Julius Randle on their team and he throws up Bob Cousy stats in the playoffs. That's why they lost. It had nothing to do with him. Well, I mean, I guess maybe a little, right? To do with him being small. He can get abused defensively. But I firmly believe if Julius Randle steps up, they win. They win. If he plays up to his regular season capabilities, they win that series. So Candace Parker, you were wrong. And like I say, I've admitted to being wrong. It's okay to be wrong. But I will say this. I do think it's very obvious if you say something like that you didn't watch the series. I'm going to just say that. It's very clear because to say that not so much, especially in comparison to the first round, that's insane. Nigga cooked 2 top 10 defenses back to back and got better in the second round. Come on. Let's be better. Let's be better. But hey, that concludes this stream. I really appreciate you guys for showing up and showing out. No Q&A today. Y'all didn't hit that like goal, so I'm sorry. No Q&A. You guys make sure you subscribe to the channel and press that bell for post notifications. I appreciate everybody for showing up and showing out. We got a lot of people in here, a lot of topics to talk about. Stay tuned for some clips tomorrow. You guys stay safe. Have a blessed day. Man, I'm finna go and demolish these Popeyes wings. These ghost pepper wings. Y'all got to get y'all some ghost pepper wings at Popeyes. They low-key be hidden. They be hidden. But you guys stay safe and have a blessed day, man. I'm out. Peace.